Shalom. Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. As all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, and Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the whole elect. And this shit over there, that's why America's gonna be fucking destroyed. Right there. I don't know if y'all can see that, man, but this is why America's gonna be destroyed. Got a whole nigga dressed in a blue dress with his fucking woman. This is why America needs to be destroyed. Alright? Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabah out here in Arizona. Right? Lord will, with another week to prophesy the downfall of this place, man. Right? To prophesy the complete collapse and impending destruction from the Heavenly Father on what the scriptures say is Mystery Babylon, which is America. Right? But I want to get right into this, man. You got World War III kicking off, right? It ain't in its full perfection yet, because the mark of the beast got to be implemented. But you got World War III getting kicked off. And now you got America stepping in. Israel and America bombing up Syria and Palestine. I got an article right here. I'll show it to the screen, right? It says right there, 5,000 U.S. troops involved in Gaza offense, right? And that's a major escalation. And we're going to keep talking about these things, because the thing about prophecy, it don't change, right? So what you're living right now, which you're going to be in the midst of World War III, there will be a draft in America where people will be forced to go off and fight in this war. And those that get forced into it, hey, the Lord wanted you to go there to die, right? This is prophesied. This is the scriptures. And whether or not you think it has rule over your life or not, it has rule over your life. The Lord set these things up. And now we're in a time where we get to see it, man. Call her law. Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Kakadash. Call law to the Lord. All praises to the Heavenly Father for these times, man. Right? You should be fucking sick of this place. All right, so I'm going to read this article. It says 5,000 U.S. troops involved in Gaza offense. So now you got America getting involved in that conflict in the land of Israel. That's big escalations. That means what? Iran's going to get involved. Russia's going to get involved. They're already sitting there bombing Syria. This is what you're going to live. All right, you can turn off your TV, or you can go to a party, you can turn on your TV, you can party in BS, but at the end of the day, this is still going to be your reality. All right? It says several thousand U.S. troops have taken part in Israel's ground operation in Gaza. The Iran-based Tasnim news agency reported on Saturday the Pentagon has recently announced plans to significantly reinforce its military presence in the Middle East amid the Israel-Hamas conflict and tensions with Iran. You see that? They're getting involved. That's prophecy, right? The only other thing that really need to happen right now is the time of Jacob's trouble and the mark of the beast. It's the only other things that need to happen. You about to see the working of the Lord. The beginning of famine and great death. Right? That's what the scriptures say. So this is Joel chapter 2. And this scripture is going to keep coming out. Probably every week. Right? It's up to the Lord. Remember, the scriptures tell you when you speak, it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father that speaketh in you. These words that we saying, man, we don't even got control of this thing. This is Joel chapter 2. In verse 20 it says, but I will remove from you the northern army. 5,000 U.S. troops being shipped over to Israel, right? For this whole conflict with the Palestinians. The Lord said he's gonna remove from us the northern army. So more of these niggas are gonna get shipped right out there. What is the northern army? The North American army, right? You got people that are supposed to be reservists, right? Getting put into active battle readiness. So shit's getting hot. You know, them Israelis, man, they ain't got no fucking ability to fight. I was getting into you know, videos and everything this week to get some understanding on it. Them Israeli soldiers, bro, all they do is police. They never really had real combat skills. They practice policing the Palestinians. And they don't ever get any pushback. So now you're sitting there trying to police an entire nation of people, right? Now you're gonna go to war with an entire nation of people against people that prepare for actual war. These people ain't got the fucking ability. They're gonna get overwhelmed, right? It says, but I will remove far from you the northern army, and I will drive him into a land barren and desolate. Right, that land that's barren and desolate, it's talking about the Middle East, right? With his face towards the East Sea, right? The face towards the East Sea is talking about the Persian Gulf, right? So if you go to a map, let me get it. Shalom, brother. Shalom. How you doing, bro? You ain't gotta be scared of the camera, brother. It's so legit. Come on. Shalom, brother. Good, brother. Con, this is a map, right? So the Lord said he was going to remove far from him. Let me get it again. Right? It says, and I will drive him to a land barren and desolate with his face towards the East Sea. So when you go to a map, that East Sea is talking about the Persian Gulf. Right? If you look at it right there. The Persian Gulf. Is on this side, right? Or on this side, Salakia. The Persian Gulf, right? And it says in his hinder part towards the utmost sea, which is talking about the Red Sea. So the Lord's gonna drive this American military and all these militaries into Saudi Arabia for World War III, man. Right? It says his hinder part towards the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he has done great things, right? All type of death is going to come off this, man. The Lord's doing his work, right? We got the scripture last week where it said, you know what, let me get it. I don't even know if I got it. I think I quoted it last week. Proverbs, not Proverbs. This is Salakia. Let me just put it on Google, man. King's heart. Proverbs 21 in verse 1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Hey, he do. You see, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. So the Lord is the one that's in control of all these people's actions. Right? So these people that they don't understand why they're doing these things, but they understand the consequences of these actions, of these military moves, but the Lord's the one in control. He said he turned them whithersoever he will. So he's moving all these chess pieces so destruction can come. And America needs that destruction, man. This place begs for it. The way that people operate, the way that people act, right? The way children behave themselves, the way women behave themselves. The things that are accepted, they're sitting there saying for this new generation, it's 1 in 3 people are Moors. That's fucking madness. 1 in 3 people. Right? This is that wicked and perverse generation right now. So what has to happen? Just like in Sodom and Gomorrah, the Lord bombed them to hell. Well, in America right now, right, the Lord's going to have it so that these nations come up against this place and bomb this bitch to smithereens, man. This is Jeremiah. Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49:20. It says, therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord. It says that he had taken against Edom. When you go into the scriptures, you got to know who the Edomites today. All this black, white, Italian shit, that's not anything in the scriptures. The Lord had names for people and nations in the scriptures. And that nation of Edom today are the so-called white people. Right? Before they were called Edomites, after they were called Edomites, they were called Greeks, and they're called Romans, right? French, right? Spaniards, British, right? Germans, and now they're called what? Americans, Edomite Americans, the white Anglo-American, man. Those are the Edomites. It says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Edom, and his purpose that he had proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Right? Who's the least of the flock of the Edomites, man? Israel. Right? You're talking about a small nation that's able to just control everything. They're the least of the flock, and they're going to be overwhelmed by this whole ground and pound that they got planned for Hamas. And America's going to have to step in. Why do you think they're stepping in early? Right? 5,000 troops. Right? 2 warships. A mini air fleet going all out there in the land of Israel now from America to support them. It says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof is heard in the Red Sea. Right? So whatever this destruction is going to be, we're going to see it. War is going to play out. World War III is going to play out. The shit that's going on with Israel and Hamas, that's in the scriptures. Right? And whether or not people got a problem with my rough speech and the fact that I use so-called curse words when I speak, the message is still true. Maybe get the message and don't get offended by the delivery. Right? This is this is verse 22. Behold, he shall come up and fly as an eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pains. So that's what the Lord's getting prepared. That America's about to be destroyed. At the fall of this place, people are going to rejoice. Keep going. This is Jeremiah 49 and 16. I'm going to jump up a little bit. Start at 15. It says, "For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, in the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock," talking about Esau, right? The Lord is making this devil despised among men, right? By their actions. Look what they're doing on a grand scale. People are looking at how this devil operates, right? And they're sitting there saying, there's no way you can justify this shit. You're bombing an entire nation of people to hell, giving collective punishment for something that a single group, and you're treating the mass like they're all part of that group. Well, now this devil's being brought into inquisition. There's an inquisition being made into the council of the ungodly right now. Right? What's going over there in Palestine ain't right. It ain't. It ain't. But the Palestinians don't belong in the land of Israel either. Right? The true children of Israel belong in there. And it's not them small hatters in the land of Israel wearing yarmulkes. Right? It says, "Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that beholdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord." So as much as these devils are trying to prop themselves up, get the best of the land, right? Set up all these trade deals so they're the only ones that benefit, right? Though they build up and they set their nest, their dwelling place at the top of all the world. They get the best of the best, right? And they make these laws so that they get what they want, where everybody has to give up everything they got, right? The Lord said he's going to bring them down. That's what's happening, man. The Lord is literally crashing this Edomite empire in front of us. This is Zephaniah 3. And 8. It says, yeah, Zephaniah 3 and 8. It says, Zephaniah 3 and 8, it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey." Right? We ain't taking nothing on ourselves. The Lord's going to give us the kingdom. It says, "For my determination is to gather the nations." And that's what we're seeing. Right? The gathering of the nations. All these major militaries, especially the ones that deal with World War III in the scriptures, right? The Valley of Yehoshaphat, or Jehoshaphat, as is directly written in the scriptures. The true in the Hebrew is Yehoshaphat, meaning the Lord's judgment. All the major players are getting pulled down into that land, right? So the Lord said, "For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. Even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy," man. So the Lord is cooking this thing up. Just keep your eyes on the Middle East. Keep your eyes on the Middle East. Don't stop watching the news. Don't stop watching. The Lord said, watch as well as pray. Right? Stay plugged in. Stay locked in. Remember the scriptures say, "For now is our salvation nearer than we believe." Shit is moving quick. The gospel shall be preached into all the world, and then the end shall come. All right, well, shit is shaping up where we're seeing the beginnings of the end. So lock in. It says Ecclesiastes 3. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. It says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." Under the heaven. Right? So every time and everything, there's a time for it to happen. There's a season for these things to happen. There's a season for war. We're in the season for war. We're not in the season of peace. Cooler heads will not prevail. All right, I'm going to jump down to verse 8. It says, "A time to love and a time to hate That's in the scriptures. The Lord said there's a time to love and there's a time to hate. So when you go to your Christian churches and they say God is love, what the scriptures tell you, there's a time to love and there's a time to hate. It says a time for war and a time of peace. And we're not in a time of peace. You can see that. Look at the Middle East. Look at Israel. We're in a time of war, baby. And you should be happy that these things are happening. Because as more and more prophecies come to pass, the kingdom of heaven gets closer. Right? That's where we're at. Habakkuk 2. I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, and the Lord answered and said, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. Right? And there was a video came out where a brother put it up on his channel. It's a Judite woman sitting there saying, do anybody realize how quickly things are escalating? Right? You had the whole Russia conflict was just a buildup, and overnight you got Israel bombing Palestine. Then you got the U.S. getting involved in it. Right? Then you got Russia getting involved in that. We're at the end and prophecy is speaking. It says that, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it. Because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right, so the things that people push off saying, oh yeah, that's not gonna be, the Lord's not gonna come back in our time, all that stuff. Now the Lord's gonna be back in your lifetime. You better prepare to meet the Lord. That's going to be a scary thing, to prepare to meet the Lord, man. World War III's happening. The Lord said that was going to happen before he came. Right? And simultaneously, the Lord's going to come up and show you that he's the king of terrorists. He's the king of the war. Right? Things are moving quickly. It's going to move faster, bro. It's going to move faster. You're going to see stuff start. Major things change overnight. Esau's going to know that his kingdom is about to be up. Like it says in the book of Revelation, man. For he knows that his time is short. All right, he's going to move like a madman, man. And he's going to make mistakes. But he ain't going to care about people labeling his mistakes. Because those mistakes are happening now. The things that he's saying on the news and TV, those things are being fucking snapshotted, cropped, emphasized, blown up. Right? Put on all type of platforms. They can't even keep up. And then you got the prophets here. And that's when you're really in trouble. Right? This is 2 Peter 3. I'll start at verse 2. 2 Peter 3 and 2. It says, in saying, I'll start at 3. It says, know this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers. Right? And that's where we're at. We're in the time where scoffers are here. No, I'm gonna jump to verse 9, actually, Salakia. 2 Peter 3 and 9. It says, verse 8. What's going on, Shalom, bro? But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, right? As some men count slackness, right? A lot of people went back in the world. You got niggas that's sitting there walking away from the truth. I saw this video with this dude, Yashalam. Apparently he was a name, he had hella followers and shit. But at the same time, he sat there and said, why I left, made a whole video saying why he left being a Hebrew Israelite. Nigga, you ain't left shit. You still won. Whether or not you want to fucking do it or not. Saying that it conflicted with some of the things. Well, he didn't have faith. You got niggas departing from the faith, man. Right? Men are counting the promises of the Lord slack. They thinking that this truth is a fucking game and a joke. It ain't. You had a brother from the I'm not even going to call him a brother because he left the truth for no reason. For no good reason. And there ain't never a good reason to leave the truth. But you got the dude from the Trinidad camp walk away saying that he wanted to build a house, put some money together to build a house for his mother, right? And what happened? The Lord blew out his candle, man. The Lord blew out his candle. You got men like Ernie and Bert, right? Like the apostle calls them, Ernie and Bert, sitting there changing up the doctrine, changing the names. He says, but the day of the Lord will come. You know what? Verse 9, it says, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. So the Lord isn't slack concerning his promise. The Lord said these things are going to happen. And God damn it, these things are going to happen, man. All right? Prophecy's coming to pass. It's in your face. You can't even put these things away now. Now you got the Euphrates drying up. That's in the scriptures. To make way for the kings of the east. Right? So you got the Euphrates drying up, and the major part of the water that's still there is in the shape of the sign for Omega. Right? The Lord said he is the Ah and the Tha, the beginning and the end. Right? Well, we coming to the end. This shit is it. It says, Revelation 6. You know, I'll keep reading on this 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. And just as quickly as things are shaping up and more escalations are happening just overnight, man. It's like overnight it went from Israel bombing the shit out of the Palestinians to them trying to decimate a whole region, telling them that a million people got to get out, then bombing those million people that were trying to get out, right? So now they're sending ground troops to Israel. The escalation as far as war is concerned is fucking increasing. That stuff is increasing, man. World War III is a very likely thing in our lifetime. Very likely, and it's scriptural. It's scriptural. The stuff that's happening over there is going to escalate, and people here are going to have to go into a military draft because they ain't meeting their numbers for their recruits. Right? This is 2 Peter 3:10. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. So this thing is going to come on people unawares because people ain't paying attention to shit. You got niggas worried about shit that's in the world. They ain't worried about the scriptures. Niggas want to get dreads, fuck a bunch of bitches, right? Be degenerate as hell and just make money. That's it. That's all they care about. Well, when the time, like the scriptures tell you, that the silver and gold shall not deliver you in the day of the Lord. When it's time that you want some deliverance, you're gonna have to fall back on the shit that you got, and all those things are gonna fail. All right, but the day of the Lord is gonna come on people that aren't watching, very unaware. Right? This is Revelation 6. And 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red. Right? And who was that red horse, man? You go back to Genesis, the 25th chapter, the 25th verse. It tells you Esau came out red all over. Why? Because the Lord gave him that clean, leprous look. Right? He took that pigment from him because he was Cain in the rebirth. Right? He came out red all over, no pigment, so all you saw. And that's why white folks look how they look. So-called white folks look how they look because they have no pigment in their skin. So they're red. Their skin becomes red, pinkish. It's blood basically showing forth through all those layers of skin. It says, And there went out another red horse. I'll start at verse 3. Revelation 6 and 3. It says, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Right? And this isn't talking about an actual horse. It's talking about a nation of people. The so-called white man. Right? He is that red horse. You had this dude, this woman, and her name is, behold, we are the pale. She said, behold, we are the pale horse. I'm trying to get her name. What was her name, man? I pulled up her name recently too. But Esau even knows that they're the harbingers of death. The so-called white man understands that he's the one that brings the most death in the earth. I mean, for you to have a kingdom and you to sit here and say, you know what, it's not enough that we have guns and tanks, right, and aircrafts, and we want to make a nuclear missile. That's because the Lord put a spirit in them to do it, and their spirit was so decrepit that it was all for them from the jump. You think in the kingdom of heaven we're gonna be sitting there making nuclear weapons? Shit that you can't handle the degrading of it, right? But it says, verse 4 again, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And Esau's taking all the peace from the earth. You sit here, there's an article I have. Let me see. I was reading a little bit of it this morning. And this is from RT. And it says, there you go, that's the title. All right, it says, why do you call it massacre? A massacre. Palestinian journalists are fighting both for their lives and their message. Right? It says, since October 7th, when the Hamas attack on Israel territory and civilians targeted a destructive bombing campaign against Gaza, Palestinian civilians have been struggling to get the full extent of their plight represented in the Western media. Whether it is British state media, the BBC, stating that Israelis are killed while Palestinians simply die, and that's how Esau does semantics, right? Or CNN, whose reporters had to publicly apologize for confirming Israeli reports about babies being beheaded by Hamas. The Western media has displayed shocking biases and double standards when reporting the current Gaza-Israel war. Even when Reuters journalist Issam Abdullah was killed along the Lebanese-Israeli border on October 13th, the outlet itself wouldn't even say who committed the strike, and instead writing that missiles fired from the direction of Israel struck him and the six other journalists. So they're sitting there taking peace from the earth. It's showing you who these people are. Everywhere you go, Esau is just killing niggas, man. It says, back in Revelation 6 and 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. And right now we're in a time where he's using that sword. You got these demons out here. Turn it up. Turn it up. That boy is bugging. Right? But that's what's happening, man. That red horse is red horse. Esau is lashing out. Right? And he got an Edomite over there lashing out. And he's doing what he was always born to do. Thief coming not but to steal, kill, and destroy. All right, he's stealing the land, he's killing the people and destroying everything. All right? This is Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and 4, it says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, right? And say, how hath the oppressor ceased? And that's going to happen real soon, man. Every one of these devil's plans are not working as they used to, right? He has no validity among the people anymore. How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, right? That support, that ruling structure, what they leaned upon to get their messages out. The Lord had broken that staff, man. That might. And the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. And Esau does that. The so-called white man through his military smites every nation with a continual stroke. Nobody gets away, right? If he doesn't sit here and do it to you physically, he uses his laws, right? His money to sit here and oppress the people. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hinder it. Now everybody's bringing this devil's accounts to the forefront. Make it Esau bear. Right? This is Micah 1 and 4. Ooh, I didn't mean to get this one. I might have to start up. This is No, that's not what I wanted. Malachi 1 and 4. It's going into something else. Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. Right? And the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever. And everybody's sitting there saying, yeah. Everybody's pointing out Esau's hypocrisy everywhere he is. That's why you have something called colonialism just keep bringing up, because colonialism is basically Edomite supremacy on a global scale. Nobody's caused as much harm as the fucking free Edomite, right? Nobody's caused as much injury as a so-called white man. And now everybody in every nation is starting to call him out, and it's even happening in his own home. Right now you had a protest that was sparking up, so-called Free Palestine protest. Fuck the Palestinians, right? But what's being done to them is wrong. You got a Free Palestine protest that's being done right now in London, right? You've had ones in here, over here in Arizona, ones in New York, right? Everywhere this devil goes, everybody's calling out his wickedness and telling him he ain't shit. It says, and your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, Yahweh will be magnified in the border of Israel. Right? But this devil is the border of wickedness. Out of America, right? Out of Edomite power structure, out of the so-called white man's power structure, all types of evils happen in the earth. And you can't deny it. World War I, World War II were all bankers' wars. Right? World War III is going to be a bankers' war as well. It's just going to be a power grab, right? Not being fought for any type of righteousness, right? For any evil that people do is really just to support the pockets of the greedy, which are the Edomites, man. This is and at the same time, you people that are seeing these things, you're gonna understand that that the Lord wasn't with this shit. For a long time, brothers have been preaching that World War III is going to come. And now you're seeing World War III get kicked up. And people are starting to get scared because they see how serious it's getting. Right? They're already talking about drafts because they don't have enough people for their military. They're sending 5,000 troops, fleets, everything like that. And people thought we were crazy when we brought it up. We told you not to get the juicy juice when they had the whole pandemic. And now they're sitting there coming out telling you that that you can basically sue for negative reactions. Right? So we're at a point now where nobody's going to be able to scoff and say that the Bible isn't real because you're about to live it. You're living the time of the Bible right now. The hell people are going to go through, well, that's prophesied in the scriptures. Right? The economy collapsing, that's prophesied in the scriptures. The downfall of the normalcy of this world, that's prophesied in the scriptures. And people are going to have to live that shit. Right? So there's no more going to be anybody scoffing and talking shit like brothers didn't have the right word. We're in the time where all that scoffing shit is going to be out the door. And it's already starting. It's already starting, man. This is 2 Peter 2. Or 2 Peter chapter 3. Is it 2 Peter 3? Yeah, 2 Peter chapter 3. Verse 3. It says, knowing this, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust. Well, we're in the last days. You got a lot of people talking shit on the scriptures. You got a lot of people coming up against it, changing the doctrine. You got men that called themselves Israelites at one time, no longer wanted to sit here and keep the doctrine pure. Right, we're in the time now where scoffers are here, walking after their own lust. They're coming up with their own names. Right? Right? A gram of Teddy Grahams, right? And a pound of menthol. That nigga changed up the whole name. You got men that sit here and saying that they want to go into other things. The fuck you got to go into? The scripture, hey, when Yahushua was here and men started to leave him, he asked his disciples, will you leave me also? He said, whither shall we go? For unto you are the words of the kingdom of heaven. There's no leaving the truth once you get into it. You got to be consistent. It says, 2 Peter 3:3, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? Right? And for a long time, people were saying, where's the promise of the Lord's coming? But right now, we're in the time where the prophecies are being fulfilled, so you can't really say that no more. It says, for since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. And for a long time, people said, yeah, people have been saying there's been wars and earthquakes for a long time. But nothing's been so prevalent as it is right now. Now you're starting to live it. Now you got niggas getting put to death. The Lord's putting niggas to death. Right? The people that scoffed against the truth. You had this woman that recently, Nefertiti, whatever the fuck her name was, on YouTube that used to come up against the truth. But what did the Lord do? Gave her brain cancer. Right? Brain tumor. And that's just painful, bro. You're talking about a constant headache, right? To the point where it becomes pressure that you can't get out, no matter how much stuff you take. And don't let the shit metastasize. That's when it spreads. That's what it means, metastasis, right? It spreads and it starts to hit your spinal column, your bone marrow, right? You fucked. The Lord getting people, man. At a certain point, hey, that nigga Yaradon from years back, hey, he's gonna get his time. You had the dude from Tried and Refined, right? Scoffed against the truth, went on Vocab Malone. All you niggas that go on Vocab Malone shit and call yourself Israelites, and then you go and be cordial with the fucking enemy. Your time's coming. Your time is coming. Right? We're in the time where scoffing and all that bullshit talking, the Lord's going to start rewarding. It says, for since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation, of the creation is for this they willingly are ignorant that the Most High, that the word of the Most High Salakia, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the waters and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. Right, so right now all this shit's just being maintained until the Lord gets ready to kick out that judgment. You niggas that are here, right, the scoffs came against the truth, you're being maintained. Right, what is the Most High? Right, showing long patience, suffered the vessels of wrath, right? That he may show his power. That's what's going to happen. The Lord is just suffering you for now. But we're in a time where judgment's going to start going forward. Niggas are getting put to death. You had the dude that tried to corrupt the brother that came out of one body into the doctrine of GMS, which is the doctrine of the Lord, right? That came out of the doctrine of a one body to the doctrine of GMS. And the next day he got put to death. The Lord put him down. Well, this is a beautiful time. The Lord is shaking his hand over the people. Right? This is Proverbs 19. Proverbs 19:25, it says, smite a scorner, and the simple will beware. And the more these judgments start coming out like this, man, men going against the word, people changing up the doctrine, the names, right? And the more these things start happening, and the more the Lord starts hitting these niggas with death. I mean, you had to do the polite, right? Now he put that negative name on brothers trying to call us grapers, right? And then he got locked up for the same shit. The more the judgment starts coming out of these things, hey, the simple are going to beware. It says, Proverbs 19:25, smite a scorner, and the simple will beware. Reprove one that had understanding, and he will understand knowledge. You see? This is Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3 and 32, it says, I'm sorry, 31, it says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. And that's the problem with Jake. They do envy Esau. They envy the wicked of our people. That's why niggas fall off the truth. Because they see it causes you to have some accountability. It causes you to force yourself to be in order, man. Because it's natural to be out in disorder here, man. Right? None of this shit is done in order. These people will be in these big ass corporations, right, and do things outside of their policies and their regulations. Right? Everything in this kingdom is out of order, so it's natural. But men fall out of the truth because they don't like that. It says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. It says, for the forward is an abomination to the Lord. And what does it mean by the forward is an abomination? The liar, right? The corrupt. It says, but his secret is with the righteous, right? It says, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, and he blessed the habitation of the just. And that's what you're seeing. It's the curse of the Lord is going into the house of the wicked, man. Niggas are going to get taken out, right? All the evil that these people are doing and pronouncing and promoting, they're going to get taken out because of these things. It says, surely he scorned the scorners, right? Surely he scorned the scorners. He's throwing some shit back at them, mocking them. The Lord is mocking people. Polite, like I said, man. Polite got hit, right? He tried to call brothers grapers, and the Lord put a spirit on him where he did it, and now he's locked up for grape. It says, surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace to the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. And that's what all you reprobates, the ones that fell out, the ones that didn't want to show any more diligence to the Lord, hey, the Lord is starting to take it back on you, man. He's starting to give you your licks back. We didn't have to do nothing. Just preach the word. That's it. Right? You become offended, hey, let the Lord deal with it. Your job is just to preach the word. And brothers that have done that, man, we've been taught that by the elders and apostles. Just preach the word. The Lord will handle everything else. Preach the word. The Lord will handle everything else. Right? And we're seeing right now, man, the Lord is going to start handling it. So all those that scoff and talk shit, your day's coming. Your day's coming, and that's a terrifying thing to see. Right? It's a humbling thing for brothers in the truth. Right? This is second Ezra 7. Come on, man. Second Ezra 7. In verse 19, he said unto me, there is no judge above God, and none that hath understanding above the highest. Because the highest amount of knowledge you can have is the understanding of the Almighty. Right? Because then you understand the way the world actually works. Then you understand how to get a blessing. It says, for there be many that perish in this life because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them. And that's why niggas are gonna die a lot, man. People have fully rejected the Lord. People have fully rejected their teachers, man. Man that sincerely preached the word, people rejected them. You don't think the Lord sees these things? The scriptures tell you the Lord bottled up our tears in a bottle. And we have a book of remembrance before him, man. All those things that people did to brothers, hey, you're gonna have to pay for those in the day of judgment. It says, for there be many that perish in this life because they despise the law of God that is set before them. For the Most High had given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, what they should observe to avoid punishment. And people don't observe the things that the Lord said and the commandments that the Lord gave to avoid that punishment. Right? The Lord gave it straight. The Lord said what? Man is supposed to be with woman. Woman is supposed to be with man, but people confuse that and say man with man, woman with woman. That's a mockery to the Lord. Right? People say love is love. Well, the Lord said love is keeping the commandments. People promote disorder, so what? Now they have to perish because they despise what the Lord said. So they scoff, they talk shit. Right? They abuse. Well, you're going to sit here and abuse the prophets until it be found hateful in the eyes of the Lord. Right? Romans 10 and 21. Romans 10 and 21, it says, but to Israel he said, all the day long have I stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying people. And that's what the Lord's done. What? Through brothers. Right? The fact that we're out here preaching, the Lord put it on our spirit to come out here and preach. Well, that's the Lord stretching out his hand. Well, you got an opportunity to get right. You got an opportunity to hear, hey, this is where you're going off. Clean this up. Right? No matter how rough it comes off, that's how you need to take it. Right? This is where you're going off. Clean this up. It's simple. But people despise that. Right? This is Nahum 9, or Nehemiah. Nehemiah 9. And 26. I'll start 25. It says, and they took strong cities and a fat land and possessed houses full of all goods. Right? When we came out of the wilderness, the Lord didn't just have us come out with nothing. He made sure we came into something. Right? And possessed houses full of all goods, wells digged, vineyards, and olive yards. It says, and fruit trees in abundance, so they did eat, were filled and became fat, and delighted themselves in thy great goodness. Right? So Jake got the benefits, man. We got all the man, really. Even the fact that we're in captivity, man, we got blessings, bro. talking about Jake. Jake can be the most beautiful, talented, right? Smart, right? Intelligent, intellectuals. To the point where they can come up with an entire industry by themselves and grow it, right? Become rich, or even just be able to operate in a way to get to a sense of a so-called comfortable life. But you got, at the same time they get all those blessings, as soon as they get them, they push the Lord away. Right? It says verse 26, nevertheless, they were disobedient. Even in getting all those blessings, Jake is disobedient. Right? And rebelled against thee, and cast thy law behind their backs, and slew thy prophets, which testify against them to turn them to thee, and they wrote great provocations. And that's the problem. As soon as so-called Negro, Hispanic, Native Americans start getting some money, start feeling good about themselves, they push the Lord aside and they do all the abominations that come, the first thing that come to their mind, right? And they rebel against the Lord. But in their poverty, they was praying, right? Even if they were praying in a false name, in their poverty, they was praying, they had some sense of morality. But when they got that check, they turned into fucking Dwight Howard. Goddamn Bati boy. 6'10" Bati boy. Goddamn, bro. And they provoking the Lord. It says, therefore thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies. And the Lord's getting ready to do the same thing now. Jake, they don't take heed. The Lord's going to deliver you into the hand of our enemies, man. You're going to be right there, stuck in it, into the thick of it. Therefore thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies, who vexed them, and in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven. But we're not in the time where the Lord's going to hear you from heaven, because the Lord said what? When they cry unto me, let me get it, when they cry unto No. Let me get this, man. When they cry. Yeah, this is Jeremiah 11:11. It says, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape, and though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. And that's the time we're coming into. So if you don't repent now and fix yourself up, you're going to cry to the Lord and he ain't going to hear you. He's going to leave your ass there. Remember the scriptures tell you he's going to sit here because they became dross, right? He's going to put you in the midst of the furnace and leave you there and melt you. A lot of Jake that didn't take the warning, hey, we coming down to the time where you're going to sit here and see the benefits of that. Right? We're not in the time where the Lord is going to sit here and hear everybody's cry, right? You got a certain amount of time now. The Lord's hearing the cry of the elect right now. The Lord is hearing the cry of the elect right now. All right, so this is because I wanted to touch on that video with that chick. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because they sat there in an Israeli board, right? They said the biggest threat to Israel are they said the biggest threat to Israel are the young black males in America, right? Why would they say that? I mean, what is Jake really doing to them? Not a damn thing, but the fact that we're coming out with the scriptures and we're testing all their ideologies, all their thought process, right? And we're breaking down the scriptures the proper way and proving that they don't fit prophecy, right? It causes what? A sense of separation of the main people from the title of them being God's people, because they never were God's people, right? And it's causing a contention and a despising of those small hatters. So now they want to label us the threat. Right? First they mocked us, right? First they laughed, then they tried to join, and now they're going to start persecuting. All right, we're in the time of persecution. And call law Yahweh Shema Shai for that. But that's part of prophecy. Almost hit him. Let me see if I can get this chick's name, man. I think I did the video on it yesterday. Man. Where is it at? You know what? I don't know where exactly it is. We watch a lot of videos. But now you're going to start seeing that these devils are going to start putting all type of shit on our name. They're going to sit here and persecute you for you simply coming into the word and challenging their false perception of who the Lord's people are. Because that's what we were. Hey, scriptures tell you in the book of Wisdom of Solomon that they said we were made to reprove their thoughts, and that's exactly what we've been doing. And the reproof of their thoughts that we've been doing is mainly in the scriptures, and then we go to their own people's literature, their own damn people's literature, who prove that they can't be the people. Right? And that's what they hate the most. That somehow these run-of-the-mill Negroes, Latinos and Native Americans with some fucking Bibles, not fucking, but with some Bibles in their hand, can go into the word and confound what they put all their money, their media, right? Their politicians in place to sustain, are tearing it down to the spirit. So what now? Persecution is going to be had of the faith, of the believers, man. This is 2 Timothy 3. Second Timothy 3 and 2, it says, no, that's not it. 2 Timothy 3 and 12. It says, I started 10, it says, but thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch. So Paul went through these things. Yahushua went through these things. You got to prepare yourself to go through them as well. It says, at Iconium and at Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. So Paul said he went through all these persecutions, but out of them all, and every place he was, right, the Lord delivered him out of it. It says, yeah, and all that will live godly in a Mashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution. Right? So the Christian church tell you that you're not going to go through tribulation. They try to separate you from it, saying you're going to go up and then come back down. And no, you're going to go through that persecution. But that's all right. Because the Lord made it so that what? He was going to be with us even to the ends of the world. Because all that shall live godly in the Mashiach shall suffer persecution. Right? You go to that word godly, it means devoted. When you're devoted, what? You bring out the word of the Lord. What does that mean? Going into prophecies. That means going into prophecies. Right? Telling Esau who the fuck he is. Bringing out the judgment against the heathen. These are all things that encompass being godly. For a man. For a woman, you just got, hey, for a woman to be godly, bro, to be devoted, it all connects to your service to your husband, right? And your household. That goes back into Proverbs 31st chapter, the virtuous woman. Right? But the persecution is going to come. Because if you're going to sit here and hold this truth in your hand, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. That persecution is a temptation. They're going to label us a threat without even having to lift our hands. It says, Isaiah 59. Isaiah 59 and I give verse 15. 14. It says, and judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter in. And this is how it's been for a long time, right? People push the truth into the corner, but the Lord said what? Thy teacher shall not be removed in the corner anymore. True judgment is starting to come on earth, and it's coming through the Israelites. It says, yeah, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil. You want to depart from evil? You want to do what the Lord says? Right? It says, maketh himself a prey. You doing these things are going to make yourself a prey, and this is what we put ourselves in. This is why the scriptures tell you, you got to make your body a living sacrifice. You got to be prepared for all. You got to have a mindset to go through anything for the kingdom of heaven. It says, yeah, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. Right? So if you want to live a godly life, the scriptures tell you that he that depart from evil, you're going to make yourself a prey. You're going to make yourself a target. Right? Because you're living in a wicked world. So you want to be a light in the world, well, what? The moth is going to come around at some point. And Esau's that moth, and he's setting up the persecution. He's talking about us bluntly. Our voice is going into the gates of the nobles. Right? Paul went before Caesar. Right? Well, we going to go before them too. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 1. It says, the fear of for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. And who are the ungodly? So-called white man. Right? Malachi 1 and 4. Esau, Edom's the border of wickedness. Right? The wicked people of the earth. It says, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. It says, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. And this is what they think. And it's not right. Because you come back in your regeneration. Reincarnation is scriptural. Right? It's nothing new. It's nothing new. That's why what? It said Elijah came back. Well, as John the Baptist. Well, other men are going to come back. Why do you think the scriptures say standing at the end of days? It says, I'm going to jump down to verse 10. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 10. Let us oppress the poor and righteous man. This is what they think. Let us spare not the widow. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. Right? They know we're not for their turn. This is why they're sitting there putting out their little forums and shit. And I remember maybe like a year or two ago, when the whole shit was going on with Kanye, you had these women come up and sit here and say, yeah, they have these councils. You got to be a certain age. They have to vote you in. You have to be the vote. And you get a spot on the council to confirm if you're going to cancel somebody. Well, that's the council of the ungodly, and they're getting ready to sit here and try to cancel the truth, but you ain't canceling shit. Right? You can't do nothing but what the Lord allows you to do. Right? They're having their meetings talking about us. They got their eyes and their scope on us, and that's fine, man. The Lord made us for that light. Right? We're lights of the world. It says a candle that is lit is not hid under the bed, but it's put up top for all to see. Right? Well, we're the candle that's not going to be hid. You devils, y'all can put your eyes on us, man. We've been in the spotlight for years. Out on the open. All right, you can come see us right here on the street, man. But at the same time, these devils are going to set up a persecution. Because it says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending of the law. We keep going into the scriptures. You're not the people. Why are you having war over there? The scriptures tell you when the children of Israel got back in the land of Israel, the Lord would put them there. Not that there would be a declaration for them to get back into the land. The scriptures tell you the Lord would put us there, and the nations would learn war no more. Y'all ain't fitted not a bit. So they see that, man. It says, and objected to our infamy, You go into that name, that word infamy is it's an ill-gotten name. It's an ill-gotten name that you call yourself the people of the Lord, man. Y'all don't fit not a damn prophecy, right? Y'all don't fit not one bit of the truth, and you don't do not one bit of righteousness. It says, the transgression of our education, he professed it to have the knowledge of the Most High. He called himself the child of the Lord. Right? So there's a nation of people that are on the earth right now calling themselves the children of the Lord. And it ain't the ones in the land of Israel. It's the ones that everybody despises out on the streets speaking, teaching the word of the Lord, man. It says he is grievous unto us to behold, for his life is not like other men's, his ways are of another fashion. Right? We don't live the same way these people live. And they see that. Right? So Haman behavior is back on the rise, man. Flood talk. Right? The enemy coming in like a flood. That's just back on the rise, man. And they're gonna sit here and persecute us, say all type of shit, try to paint us in a negative light, chop up the videos. Well, that's fine. Right? This is Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13:2. It says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. That's what we've been doing, man. What is the banner that we're using? The word of the Lord, the judgments of the Lord. Exalt the voice unto them and shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. And that's what happens when you preach the truth. We put these videos out daily. Brothers are making videos daily, breaking down the scriptures daily, telling you what the Lord commanded daily, telling you things about the prophecies and the things that are going to happen shortly in your time frame, daily. Right? It says, and now what? That voice is going into the gates of the nobles. They're talking about us in their councils. They can't help but to talk about us because they're seeing the things that we've been saying through the Spirit are coming to pass. So now they're sitting there like, oh, well, like Esau does. If they can delete all of us in their mindset, well, the Lord got to give the blessing to somebody. Well, the Lord said what? He reserved himself 7,000 men that did not bow the knee to Baal. The Lord said, not one of the hairs of the head of the righteous would perish. Not that we wouldn't have to die on this side, but that the Lord would ensure that we wouldn't be totally destroyed. Right? It says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I've also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. And when you go into the Balfour Declaration, Zionism, it's all rooted in atheism. Right? None of it is scriptural based. The founder of Zionism was an atheist. Right? None of them promote anything that is scriptural in the Bible. So how in the hell are they the people of the Lord? They're not. And that's why they're going to bring us into persecution, because we have the words and the understanding from the Lord that fights against what they propped up. Right? It's Matthew chapter 5, verse 11. It says, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. And that's what they're getting ready to do. So in these times, in the time of that persecution, man, take it as a blessing. Take it as a blessing. Look at it like, hey, man, the Lord chose me to go through this. I didn't switch up the doctrine, right? I didn't do this for money, right? I just preached the word as best I could. And now I'm getting persecution and slack for it. Well, hey, count yourself blessed in that day. It says, rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Right? Understand, man. And that day when the persecution starts coming for preaching the word, you just got to have the mindset, hey, man, they did this to the prophet before. Hey, maybe I'm one of them prophets from before. And if you are, the Lord promised power. The Lord promised us power in these days. All right? This is 2 Ezra 16. Second Ezra 16 and 70. And he says, for there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So there's going to be a time coming soon where there's going to be an insurrection against those that fear the Lord. And the ones that fear the Lord are the Israelites. Nobody else fears the Lord. It says in the same thing in the book of Ezra that among the heathen, you'll find that none of them keep the precepts of the Lord. So the ones that only fear the Lord are the Israelites. Right? That's why they have a certain type of zeal, even if they be off. But then you have the ones that have that perfect fear, right? That perfect fear of the Lord, which are the Israelites and the elect of them, right? And there's going to be a great insurrection upon us as a people. Because Esau's not going to differentiate. Oh, you're not going to go to people. You believe that the Lord is Yahweh Shai? You're not going to go to people like that. He's just going to try to roll on everybody. But there's going to be an insurrection, and that word insurrection means a violent uprising. For there should be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. And this is what's getting prepared. So that persecution, for you having this gospel, for you teaching what the word of the Lord was, is going to come. It's prophesied. The Lord, who the world calls Jesus Christ, had his time of persecution. His disciples that served the Lord, right? And the Lord's true name is Yahweh Shai, right? The disciples that served the Lord, they had their time of persecution. Well, we're going to get our time of persecution as well, but the Lord is going to protect us. The Lord will defend us in our persecutions. All right, this is Isaiah 59:19. Isaiah 59:19, it says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. Right? So when they're really ready to roll and really put out that hell on us, man, the enemy's going to come in like a flood. They're going to wash over Jake. They're going to go to your neighborhoods. It's going to be like on the movie, The First Purge. Right? You have the Edomites come in there. You have the Edomites come in there with guns and their trucks and shit. Esau's going to come in tonight just like that. It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. You go to that word standard, right? You go to that word standard, it means a defense, right? When these devils roll, when they're ready to sit here and put out that all-encompassing persecution, the Lord is going to set up a way for us to be defended in that time. It says, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord. So the Lord's not going to come and save everybody. He's going to come and save the ones that turn from their wickedness. Right? As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith the Lord. My spirit is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed's seed, saith the Lord. So you keep this word even to that day, man. You stand bold for the truth. Right? You started a good work in this day, and the Lord said what? He's going to be with you to the end of the world. He said, you're no longer servants, but friends. If you do whatsoever he commanded. Well, we've been doing what the Lord commanded. All right? It's Daniel 12:1. Don't get shaken up when Esau starts, doing lies and you and AI technology to put your faces up and everything like that, because they've been doing it to other nations to justify persecuting other nations. Well, it's written in the scriptures, right, that he's a liar and the father of it. Well, they're going to do the same things now. They're going to be liars. They've always been liars. Daniel 12:1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for thy people, which standeth for thy children, thy people, talking about the Israelites, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. That time of trouble is the time of Jacob's trouble. Right? It says, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. You see? The Lord ain't gonna leave us without protection. Said that great prince was standing. When you go to that, I believe when you go to that word standing, if that's the one I'm thinking of, yeah. When you go to that word standing, it means to come on the scene. So an angel, the archangel Michael, is gonna manifest on the scene and defend brothers, bro. You did with the work of the Lord, well, man, that comes with a defense. That comes with a defense, man. And Yahweh Bashim Shah, Babu Shah, Babu Shah, Babu Shah, Babu Shah. You know, I'd be worthy to receive that defense, man. It's gonna be something special to see that the Lord defends you like that, man. This is Sirach 4, Ecclesiasticus 4 and 28. It says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. So strive for the truth unto death, meaning don't change up the doctrine. Stay with the Lord, right? Don't allow yourself not to sit here and do what the Lord commanded. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Right? Right. All right, man. All right, there, bro. It says, you see yourself on there? What are you? What's your nation? You Mexican?
Yeah, I'm Mexican, but I'm a shit.
Right there, it's a car. It's a car. That's who you are, bro. You go into the scriptures.
Yeah.
In the time of Solomon Asher.
I was gonna ask you something. Would it be weird if you're not like...
Go ahead.
No, it's embarrassing, bro. I'm tired.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
I'm saying all that shit, yo, so I'm getting tired of that shit. I'm tired. Say just say 5 days.
Go ahead, bro. Ask your question.
The thing's a joke.
That you're just fully looking like a Mexican.
Nah. So in the scriptures, it doesn't matter who your mother is. It only matters who your father is. Because the seed is determined, your bloodline, your genes, is determined by your father. So what your father is, what you are. That's what it is. That's why, you know, when you get around your family, but you know when you war though, when you war getting around your family, the ones that you were usually cool with was probably on your dad's side more.
Smart enough to tell me shit.
Yeah. All right then, bro. Be good. All right then. It says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Hey, all right. For sure. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. You see, Jake won out, man. Jake want the kingdom, bro. You can tell Jake want the kingdom, bro. The fucking dilapidated family structures and shit like that. Jake want the kingdom. Even though he out here on the street, he probably doing some bullshit in general too, but Jake do want the kingdom, man. The creatures are mourning out, but strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Right? You just keep holding on to the truth. When that persecution comes, you keep the truth the truth. Don't be like these niggas that are falling out, sitting there changing the doctrine so they don't have to get any persecution. Jeffed up one body sitting there saying, the so-called black man is Edom. Fuck you, where the hell you get that? Then sitting there saying Esau could be saved. That dude has fully changed up the entire doctrine, the way of the truth is supposed to be. So you keep the truth the truth. You fight for the truth even in the face of death. And the Lord gonna fight for you. All right, this is Sirach 29. Sirach chapter 29 and verse 12. And it says, shut up alms in thy storehouses. And alms are basically good deeds, prayers. Shut up alms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. Right? So if you have good deeds to the Lord, right? You got that charity, like the scriptures say in the New Testament, right? You got charity, hospitality towards the believers. You're not supposed to give these things to the wicked. You're supposed to do it to the believers, right? Shut up alms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction, right? It shall fight for thee against thine enemies better than a mighty shield and strong spear. So you do what the Lord says, man, it's gonna fight for you. Even coming out and preaching, sharing the word, man, that's an alm. That's a charity. When the Lord sees those things, and he's gonna bless brothers for it, right? But when that persecution comes, man, just believe that the Lord is gonna be with us, bro. But Lord willing, it's edifying. I'm saying, call law, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the whole elect. Shalom. What the fuck am I looking at, man?